Why do so many people, especially women, go undiagnosed for years?
First of all, because the symptoms of thyroid issues, it can mimic a lot of other symptoms. Because what is the main symptom is fatigue. A lot of women would think, oh, it's because of stress, oh, it's because of my lifestyle, it's because I have a little bit of anemia. That's why a lot of women go underdiagnosed because they attribute it to something else, and also because.
Hello everyone, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. In this interview, we'll dive deep into the topic of Hashimoto disease. I'm joined by true experts who will share honest insights, clear explanations, and help us uncover the truth behind common misconceptions. Our goal is to bring clarity, awareness, and real answers to a condition that so many people are struggling with. I would say, let's begin. Maybe you guys want to introduce yourself first before we start with all the questions I have prepared for today.
Ladies first.
Hello, my name is Silvana. I'm a medical doctor. My background is neuropathology, which is a study of brain tumors, but I also have a specialty in functional medicine and hormones.
Very
And
nice.
I'm Noah Laith. I am the clinical director of the longevity clinic, where we attack and solve medical problems where the conventional medicine has stopped going deeper into it.
That's so exciting. Yeah, I would say without losing time, we just start with the first big question. What exactly is Hashimoto and why is it often misunderstood?
Okay, contrary to what most of the people think, Hashimoto is not really a thyroid issue. Hashimoto is an immune disease. So the problem is not within the thyroid, the problem is with the immune system. And that's why actually that's one of the causes why we usually misdiagnose Hashimoto, because we think there's something wrong with the thyroid or there's something wrong with your immune system. The difference is that once your immune system is not regulated, and we're going to talk about the trigger, the immune system is going to attack your thyroid cell, destroy your thyroid cell, and that's why your thyroid stops secreting the hormone. The problem don't start with the thyroid, the problem starts with the immunity.
Okay. So why do so many people, especially women, go undiagnosed for years?
First of all, because the symptoms of thyroid issues, it can mimic a lot of other symptoms. Because what is the main symptom is fatigue. Fatigue. A lot of women would think, oh, it's because of stress. Oh, it's because of my lifestyle. It's because I have a little bit of anemia. That's why a lot of women go underdiagnosed because they attribute it to something else. And also because Hashimoto is a very tricky disease, because in the beginning, the lab test could be normal.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of women can have symptoms. We test them, it come back normal, because also in conventional medicine, we don't do the full panel. We're gonna talk about that. So it comes back normal and said, you're fine, deal with it.
And it's mostly women. And we are seeing more and more men also having it, but it's a mostly affecting women. Yeah, and especially with men, when they come to us and they tell us, look, I'm not gaining weight, I'm eating a lot, I'm not gaining weight, or the other way, they are actually overweight, it could be also an Hashimoto.
What are sorry, what are the early warning signs of Hashimoto that people tend to ignore?
Something to understand that in men, what regulates their body and their energy is testosterone. In women, it's not estrogen, it's not progesterone, it's the thyroid hormone. So one of the main symptoms of thyroid issue is fatigue, followed by hair loss or hair thinning. It's not only seasonal, it could be your thyroid. Also, you have the feeling of being cold. So, for example, if you are in a room with other people, usually the patient of Hashimoto would be the one that turned the heater on or always have a jacket on him. Also, it could be something like gut issues. Gut issues can start months to years before the thyroid problem starts. It could be like bloating, diarrhea, constipation. And this is also one of the causes why we don't diagnose it, because we think it's a digestive problem. We go test all the digestive panel and we ignore the thyroid.
But how is Hashimoto different from just having low thyroid?
Yeah, this is a very good question. As I explained in the beginning, once we understand that Hashimoto is not a thyroid problem, what does it mean? When you have hypothyroidism due to thyroid, it means the thyroid doesn't have enough tools to secrete the hormone. It could be not enough selenium, not enough iodine, or maybe your brain is not stimulating the thyroid enough to secrete the thyroid hormone. This is the thyroid issue. It starts with the thyroid. While Hashimoto, the thyroid have everything. Your selenium could be perfectly normal. Your iodine could be perfectly normal. Your brain is stimulating the thyroid perfectly normal. What's not normal is your immune system. The immune system is coming and attacking your thyroid that's functioning perfectly. And because it's destroying the thyroid cells, the thyroid do not secrete anymore.
Wow, okay. That's actually a very sad story, especially me as a Hashimoto patient, to know that actually everything is working, but my immune system is attacking me. And yeah, let's talk more about the root causes and like the triggers. What are the main triggers that switch on Hashimoto in the body?
There's a lot of triggers that now we know about. I'm gonna go through the most common, and unfortunately, they are ignored with doctors. So one of the main trigger of Hashimoto are toxins. We're talking about heavy metals. What are heavy metals? Mercury mainly, it's incriminated in thyroid. And the second one that we tend to ignore a lot and we commonly introduce it into our body is fluoride. Fluoride is everywhere, especially in your toothpaste. And back in the days, dentists recommended to use toothpaste with fluoride. So what happens? Mercury or fluoride go and they deposit on the surface of the thyroid cells. And your immune system wants to protect you. He wants to get these toxins out. So the immune system got triggered and he attacked the thyroid cells to get rid of the toxin, but he cannot get rid of the toxin alone. He destroyed the thyroid cells along the way. This is one of the triggers. The other trigger we're going to talk about, and it's also very commonly ignored in conventional medicine, it's gluten. There's the theory that the problem is not within the gluten itself, but within what we put on the gluten, because herbicide, insecticides are very commonly used in the gluten fields and in the gluten fields. So what happens? The molecules of the insecticide or herbicide modify the structure of the gluten. And suddenly the structure of the gluten start to look like the structure of the thyroid cell. And when you consume this gluten filled with insecticide and herbicide and toxin, your body is triggered and the inflammation is triggered, your immune system is triggered, and try to attack the gluten molecule. But because the gluten now structure look like the surface of the thyroid cell, your body is confused. So instead of attacking the gluten molecule, it's attacking your thyroid cells. And another thing to consider within the gluten is that each time someone consumes gluten, even if he's not gluten intolerant, something happened, what we call transitory leaky gut, which means normally your gut cells are very tight junction together. And each time you consume gluten, exactly, they separate. And what happens is your body in the beginning is able to repair it. No problem. We repair it, we bring it back together. And after a certain time, and it depends from each patient to another patient, for you could be 2 months, for me could be 3 years. After a certain amount of time, your body is tired, is not able to repair it anymore. So the space remain there. And each time now you're eating undigested food or toxin or anything you're introducing into the gut, it can pass throughout the space and trigger your immune system even more.
And then you think you're allergic to that food while you're not, right?
And actually, it's a leaky gut problem, like
Exactly.
that's ongoing. I also thought because gluten is responsible for the inflammation in the body, but maybe I'm wrong. Or
Yeah.
I also as well. And I thought that's why the gut is not working very well. But I think there is a connection to leaky gut.
And these are only the main,
Yeah.
let's say, influencers. There are many others, but these are the biggest what we see that are misdiagnosed, and especially heavy metals, because a lot of people think, no, I've tested my hair, I have very low, toxins. But when you test your hair, you test the toxins of your shampoo and your conditioner, right? You're not actually testing what's in your body. And even if you test your urine and blood, most doctors don't even know how to test that. So
100%. I've
yeah,
never
you have
heard
to test
any
the soft
doctor.
tissues. Yeah.
I never heard anywhere asking someone for my heavy metals in my body or ever tested it. And yeah, but what about pregnancy or hormones? Is that playing a big role in developing Hashimoto?
Yeah, unfortunately, like becoming pregnant will trigger your Hashimoto disease. Why? Because as we said that Hashimoto disease is a problem with the immune system. So when you are pregnant, your body to protect the baby is gonna change your immune system. It's gonna downregulate it in a certain way and upregulate it in another way. And when your immune system is confused, this trigger your Hashimoto. Another trigger also the hormones that you mentioned, and that's why mainly estrogen, synthetic estrogen, and that's why a big percentage of women who took contraceptive pills end up with Hashimoto disease because of the estrogen in contraceptive pills. Another trigger, by the way, and this is why in my theory, that women has more Hashimoto than men is stress. Because as women, we're easily stressed and we have a lot of things to manage at the same time. Stress is a bigger trigger of autoimmune disease, like Hashimoto.
Yeah. That's actually scary. What about the hormones? Yeah, the like baby pill. You mean
Yeah, the contraceptive pills,
birth
yes.
control? Birth control.
Yes.
Yeah. What about like I just want to go deeper into that topic. Why do so many patients get told their labs are normal when they still feel terrible?
Well, you have to think like this. The reference range that we have today has nothing to do with the reference range of 1950 or 1960. And why is that? Because who goes to the labs? There are usually people who have something that need to be tested. They're already sick or they already have a pathology. And then the labs create the standards, the norm based on that. So that's why in functional medicine, you have another type of reference range. You don't want to be in the reference normal range. You want to be in the optimal range. And the difference between optimal range and reference range is having a disease that goes undiagnosed.
Wow.
And I just want to add to that that I was trained this way in conventional medicine, that usually in conventional medicine, if someone come to me and I suspect a thyroid problem, I start with doing only TSH. If TSH is not normal, I continue the thyroid panel. If TSH is normal, I stop here. And unfortunately, in Hashimoto disease, in the beginning, TSH is perfectly normal. So if I have a patient who has Hashimoto disease, I'm a conventional medicine doctor. He comes to me, I test his TSH, it's normal, I stop here.
Well, that's crazy. I also remember one thing, that in conventional medicine, most of the studies are made on men because they're more easy to test on, because women have a cycle and it's so difficult. So most of the like values that are defined as normal are tested on men. That is not even, and also on women, like we have Asian woman, African woman, European woman, we're all so different, but the studies and the medicine that we find in pharmacies are tested on specific group of men that is not like how you say, matchable with maybe my body, my conditions, or my cycle. And just because it's so complicated to do it with women because of our different state of hormones, it says it on men, which is like a really sad story, actually.
Yeah.
But we talked about so many actually bad things right now. I want to know more about solutions and treatments. Is Hashimoto curable or only manageable?
Hashimoto is curable and manageable. It's both of it. I'm gonna be honest, like the biggest percentage will fill in the manageable part. But saying that, if you are very well controlled and managed with Hashimoto, you can live a totally normal life. Okay, so Hashimoto can be curable and can be manageable. Why the biggest percentage is more manageable than curable? Because as we said, Hashimoto is an immune disease which is triggered by toxin, and sometimes environmental toxin, you don't really have control over them. So that's why most of the women will fit in the manageable and not in the curable, but they can have a totally normal life without symptoms.
It's more like how much energy and efforts do you want to put in it? If you want to go the full power, it's curable. If you say, look, this is a too much full-time job, it's manageable. And we have seen a lot of our patients that come with thyroid, with Hashimoto disease, they become not only better, they discover also another world of optimizations of peptides, of stem cells, and they go to actually to another level that thanks to the diagnosis of Hashimoto.
Now I'm asking myself, because I still have no kids, I have Hashimoto, and now I'm asking myself if I, for example, for years managing it very well, almost like well done, but then I'm getting pregnant. Do I go backwards again with my pregnancy just because it's triggered?
If you are controlled, very well controlled, because pregnancy is a small trigger. So it depends where you are in the disease. If you are not controlled, I add pregnancy to it, this is going to be very, very worse to you. But you're very manageable and I add pregnancy to it, no, we can control the symptoms. We can completely control the symptoms.
And what is the reason, like, why when women get pregnant, they have a higher risk of expression of Hashimoto?
Yeah, we explained because the immunity goes down, so the women do not attack the baby. The immune system is dysregulated, and this dysregulation in the immune system always trigger an autoimmune disease.
But there is no difficulties for Hashimoto patients to get pregnant? It has no connection with Hashimoto?
If depends again, where are you in the disease? Because as I explained, thyroid hormone is very important in women, because if you have thyroid issue, you can have cycle issue. So where are you in the Hashimoto disease? Are you in a very severe state where it's affecting also your cycle, which also is going to affect your fertility, and put you on the infertility level? Or are you still in the beginning of the disease where it's not affecting your cycle, so your fertility is not affected? It depends where are you in the disease.
Now I'm asking myself, is Hashimoto, can it be reversed naturally without medication?
No, the answer is no. If you're saying like, if I have a Hashimoto disease, can I just only rely on natural remedies and only on supplements and cure myself? No. Will it make you feel better? Definitely. Like doing breath work, doing ice baths, all this decrease the inflammation in the body and calm down the immune system. But is it enough? No. Why? Because at the end, even if the problem is not the thyroid itself, the end product of the disease, you're not having enough thyroid hormone. This is the end product of the disease. And until now, unfortunately, we have zero supplement that can replace hormone. How do you replace the deficiency in hormone? By giving hormones. Supplements, natural way, yoga, exercise, this is going to help you, but it's not going to cure you.
So what are some success stories you've seen that give people hope?
Yourself.
As well, but tell me more about your work. What have you experienced the last years with Hashimoto patients?
I mean, we've had most of them were women. Most of them were misdiagnosed. So just actually discovering that it's something specific, because they thought it was a gut and they were trying to fix the gut and they couldn't fix the gut. They were fixed the gut and they were still tired. And knowing what the problem is half the solution. So that was usually like 60% of our patients is that they discover this problem. The other, they have been diagnosed and they have been put by conventional doctors or even endocrinologists on synthetic hormones, on synthetic drugs, which have many side effects, nasty side effects in the long term. And it was also a not full profile, which it was usually prescribed only T3, while your body need more than that. So you have to think like this. A woman comparing to a man we are very simple creatures. You know, it's only testosterone, it's an off-on button. Maybe after you're 50, 55, you need also some thyroid, but usually it's only testosterone. Women, on the other hand, it's progesterone, it's estrogen, it's thyroid, it's testosterone. So it's more like a volume knob, right? And you need to find the right coordination to hear the symphony and to hear the music. So knowing that, we've had like a lot of people that come to us that are on thyroid medication that already feel amazing. At least that's what I thought, until they come and they will put them on the right protocol. And the reason is because you have not only the giving you the thyroids and the hormones medication, but it's also measuring it, because you have different types of receptor sensitivity comparing to to your neighbor who is also a female of your age, right? And some people need half, some people need double. So managing that and not telling a patient, okay, call me in 3 months, but call me next week, and in the second week, and the third week, and the fourth, just to know, okay, is this protocol actually working, or does she need to downgrade or upgrade her meditation? Yeah.
But is someone watching right now and suspects they might have Hashimoto, what's the very first step they should take?
The first step is testing and testing and testing and testing, because you could not manage what you cannot measure. So first of all, go and get a full thyroid panel, not only TSH, T3, T4, T3, the antibodies. And the second, and it's a very important step, go to a doctor who knows how to read these levels and not tell you you are normal while you're feeling a lot of symptoms. I'm going to give an example of that. I had a patient a week ago where the problem started with fatigue, and she's a singer, her voice started changing. So she did the thyroid panel. She did the thyroid panel. The conventional medicine did only the TSH, it was normal. And then they did a full thyroid panel after that. But because the doctor is not a functional medicine doctor, it's a doctor who only compared the lab results with the lab range, he told us she's completely normal. While you follow up this patient, her problem started a year ago. You could see that the thyroid started suffering a year ago. But because the doctor is not trained into how to read the real range of the thyroid, she was not treated. And now she ended up with the disease as a very, very progressed disease now.
Wow. That's also something interesting about the work with you when I decided to go this journey with you guys, is that in the first, like every call we have, the first question you're asking me without even looking into the lab results is always, how do you feel?
Yeah.
We're always talking about my feelings first, because numbers, values, okay, but do I feel well? So it's working. If not, okay, even if the values seem to be normal, there's still something going on. This is the first time in my life that I feel heard, that I feel safe, that I feel like, okay, we're really going to the root causes, not only about my blood work or whatever. So we're really talking about my conditions, which is, okay, there's someone holding my hands and going with me through all the steps, through all this journey, because especially me as a woman, I'm a business owner. I'm super stressed. Stress is one of the biggest trigger, as you said. It's like having no time for this. And after years, I just got the diagnosis that I have Hashimoto, and I was shocked because I was like, oh, I didn't even realize, like I didn't even know what Hashimoto is. I asked myself, could it be solved before, years before maybe, that I came to this state and thought, like the same that you explained before, that I thought it's normal. I always thought it's normal that in the morning I can't wake up easily, that I'm always tired during the day. I feel like fatigue. Having mood swings. Mood swings was one of my main how you say, like it's kind of belonged to me. It's like it is my personality. I thought I am like this, you know? And it's crazy. I hear people talking about no libido or the mood swings, fatigue, hair loss. I had really bad hair loss as well, but I always thought maybe because I moved to Dubai, new water, new weather
I
conditions.
always try to find
Another reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty frustrating, but at the same time, I'm happy that like all of us, even the audience now who's watching the video now, they know how it feels to go to the doctor, especially in Germany. You go there, you have an appointment, and you have maximum of 10 minutes maybe sitting there, because the doctors get paid for the first 5 minutes. Each minute more, like he's not getting paid. And they're in the waiting room sitting 30 other people waiting, yeah, to get called. And then it's like, oh, you have headache. Okay, here's a receipt. Go to the pharmacy, take this. And you feel like one of a million, like yeah, not here, that there's no one sitting literally with you talking for an hour and really try to understand and explain you each value. And then you get also the motivation at the same time to how you say, to focus on your protocol, because you feel like, okay, there's really someone caring and giving me the answers, and you're no more alone. Some doctors like, yeah, reduce your stress. Excuse me.
Yeah. It's in your head. It's in your head.
Yeah, exactly. That's also. But let's talk about some few more questions if you're if you have time for this. Is it true that Hashimoto can cause both, like weight gain and weight loss? Is that true?
Yes. Hashimoto, if we're gonna go with the percentage, it will cause you more weight gain, but it can cause weight loss. Why? Why I'm talking more about weight gain? Because thyroid, especially in women, regulate your metabolism. And when you have hypothyroidism, your metabolism go down, decrease. And that's why you have more tendency to gain weight. But also we have patient telling you that I'm losing weight and I'm eating well, I'm sporting as I was sporting, I didn't change anything, but my weight keep on dropping down. And this is also should trigger in our head a thyroid problem. Not always hyperthyroidism, because hyperthyroidism is more associated with weight loss, but also hypothyroidism can cause you weight loss.
Another question, because we were talking about the TSH, T3. What is the difference between TSH, free T3, free T4, and the reverse T3? And why should people know these numbers?
If just to understand how the thyroid work, you have your brain that's gonna secrete the TSH, is gonna go to your thyroid to stimulate the secretion of thyroid hormones. You have two types of thyroid hormones. You have T3 and T4. Your thyroid secrete more T4 than T3. T4 is the inactive form, and T3 is the active form. And your thyroid by nature secrete more T4 than T3. And inside of your cells, you have a specific enzyme that can convert T4 into T3, the active hormone. And this is how your thyroid works. And reverse T3 is a kind of storage hormone. It's not really an active form or inactive form. The main hormone that we base on are T4 and T3. And this is what Noah talked about a little bit about the treatment. I want to talk a little bit about that. Usually in conventional medicine, when someone comes with Hashimoto disease, so the thyroid, because it's being attacked, is not secreting enough, we prescribe only T4. This is what's prescribed in conventional medicine. Because we think if I give him T4, inside of his cells, T4 is going to be transformed to T3, so he will get the active form and he's okay. But what they fail to understand that after a certain limit, after a certain time, your thyroid is not, your cell's not going to be able to transform T4 to T3 anymore. So what I'm doing, I'm giving T4 and T4 and T4. So your body suddenly, oh, I have T4, let me suppress the thyroid even more. And it suppresses the thyroid even more. So it ends up feeling worse and not better after a certain time. That's why.
That it's still working, that all doctors giving people the T4, like why? For years.
Because as you said, most of the doctor has a lot of patients. They don't have time to read more, to update their knowledge. We are trained this way as well in conventional medicine. We are trained this way. Because until now, I guess we failed to find a system that can combine functional and conventional medicine together.
But I mean, if the thyroid gets worse, how come that we're still giving it for years to people if we see the results? Do we not make these people
For a simple
depending?
reason, Zara. It's a very simple reason. Reason number one, the medical science discoveries, before they come into the mainstream, it takes on average 17.2 years. That means there are people watching this, there are people out there walking with a disease that we discovered is treatable 17.2 years on average delay. That's on average. That's not reason number one. Number two is the half-life of medical knowledge. So that means how much you have to update your medical knowledge. It's at this moment, this is Harvard Medical School research, it's 6 months. So that means a doctor, if I'm a doctor and I just graduated, in 6 months, my knowledge will be downgraded. So I have to update it. Now, take that most doctors have 10 to 15,000 patients per year, and the average consultation is 15 minutes. I mean, how Can you even discover what someone is eating, the stress level, what is the lifestyle, what they're taking, supplements in 15 minutes? It's just impossible. Right?
And I will add to that you should also think about money. Who's benefiting a lot from selling more T4s? So, because those are the pharmaceutical companies that control the studies.
100%.
Doctors work, but what the study gives you as a result, yeah.
And for every synthetic drug that heal or that help downgrade the symptoms of a disease, there is a bioidentical equivalent for it that is not patentable and that is cheaper. And that's why.
And that's my next question. What's the difference between synthetic and bioidentical thyroid hormones, and why aren't more doctors prescribing the bioidentical version? So is it just because it's not, you can't patent it and it's cheaper? Or what are the benefits of bioidentical hormones in comparison to synthetic?
Okay, so synthetic means that it passed through a lab, they synthesized the molecule, and the molecule look like the own hormone, your own hormone by like 20 to 40%. This is synthetic, okay? When we talk about bioidentical, it's still synthesized in the lab. It's still passed through a lab to make the molecule, but it looks like your own thyroid hormone by 100%. That means the molecule, when she take it, it's able to go to your thyroid receptor and activate the thyroid receptor in the same way your own thyroid hormone can activate it, while the synthetic version will activate it in a 20-30% lookalike way. Okay, this is the difference between bioidentical and synthetic hormone. And again, why doctors are not prescribing bioidentical? Now we're having more and more, mainly the doctors that are taking hormone training, that are putting a little bit of time on updating their knowledge, they are prescribing more and more bioidentical, mainly in the US, not in Europe yet. But again, because bioidentical is cheaper, bioidentical, there's no big pharmaceutical company making bioidentical hormones. So again, the study are not directed into bioidentical hormone. We're still directing them into synthetic hormones. And doctors in conventional medicine, we work by what the study tell us. So,
yeah, just to give you an example, the biggest study, and Peter Attia said that this is the biggest mistake we created for the female health movement. It's called the Women Health Initiative. They spent 1.2 billion with a B of Bravo, $1 billion on that study to only after 7 years discover that doctors should stop prescribing hormones to women. And 50% from one day to another of the doctors stopped prescribing. Why? Because the study showed there was a raise of carcinogen expression in women. What they didn't tell you is that the medication that was used in the study was based on synthetic hormones. And yes, if you take synthetic hormones, there is a slight chance of higher cancer carcinogen expression. But if you use bioidentical hormone, the studies showed actually the other side, which is the reverse. It lowered down the carcinogen expression. So it's how you pick up which study for which cause.
and you can ask the question actually in another way. I just want to add something to what he said. We have enough study telling us synthetic hormone / contraceptive pills cause cancer. They can cause what we call the post-contraceptive pill syndrome, from women killing themselves because of depression, from low libido, from there's a lot of symptoms related to that. But yet, why are we still prescribing it? Look to the percentage of teenage girl under contraceptive pills. We are still prescribing it.
I'm asking myself if I'm like at a normal commercial doctor having Hashimoto, he gives me the synthetic hormones. I'm taking that for years. Somehow, if I'm not taking them anymore, my thyroid is already done because I damage it. So I'm kind of depending on the hormones then. He makes like, actually, they make me depending on taking them forever.
Yeah, it's like the full recipe for disaster.
It's wow, it's so crazy actually. But yeah, can you explain maybe some about the treatment questions? because you were talking also, or another question before, sorry, I prepared some questions. Why is a medical school teaching doctors about the gut thyroid connection and root causes? Yeah, why is it not taught, or yeah?
Why? I don't really have the answer for why, but I can tell you because the system didn't change for years. Since I was in med school, and maybe the doctor that taught me, we are still following the same curriculum. Nobody changed it. But if you, Zara, if you look to years and years and years ago, there were colon hydrotherapy rooms inside of the cancer department. So they were considering the gut as a root cause of diseases, as Hippocrates said, because Hippocrates said everything started and end with the gut. Before, we were considering gut and we were cleaning the gut of cancer patient. But after that, we removed this room and we never considered gut again.
And for the people that doesn't know what means colon hydrotherapy, it's a room where you bring a small pipe into your rectum and you clean from inside out the walls of your gut. And that was a common practice in hospitals.
Yeah, and I just want to talk from experience, and I talked to Noah once about it. If I look back to what I studied within 9-10 years of my medical study, I can take a lot of things that I didn't actually need, and I could finish my medical study within 4 or 5 years.
Wow, crazy. Imagine half of time.
Yeah, just feeding us with things that,
yeah, doesn't matter actually.
Yeah.
And imagine doctors like in general medicine, like a usual house doctor. He's there for 30 years and has always patients talking about sleeping problem or having cough or whatever. And he's not even updated for 30 years sometimes. Like he's not even on the new studies. He's just doing it for years in his small village and has a protocol. Yeah, doing it. But you were talking about peptides, which is so new. Many people, I'm sure, don't know anything about peptides. How do peptides...
Our favorite topic.
Okay,
One of our
take
favorites.
over the topic. Tell me about peptides, especially about the alpha-1 and BPC 157 peptide.
I mean, the history of peptides is they've been used for, like, insulin is the first peptides. We've been using peptides for 100 years. And that was, as I told you in the beginning, like the delay is 17 point years between things that science that has been discovered. And peptides has been used for 30, 40, 50 years. Actually, in Russia, every pharmacy is obliged to have a specific type of peptides for immunity. So I'll let Silvana explain exactly what they do and how they are. But for us, like you cannot do anti-aging, you cannot do regenerative medicine without adding bioidentical peptides to your body.
Just to explain what peptides are in a very, very simple way, peptides are small protein that exist naturally inside of your body. You secrete peptide. In each organ, you have a specific peptide, and each peptide can have one or different function. And we discovered that when we age, the amount of peptide you have in your body go down. And this could be one of the theory of aging. And that's why, for example, if you and a 7-year-old child has the same injury, the 7-year-old child will gonna recover faster than you will do because he has more storage of peptides. So in the Hashimoto disease, we use 2 peptides. We use one peptide that target the gut and work on the surface and the lining of the gut, because we talked about leaky gut. So we need something to close this leaky gut, which is BPC 157. And the other peptide that we use is thymosin alpha-1, which is a peptide that is usually secreted by the thymus, which regulates your immunity inside of your body. So the thymosin alpha-1, it's a very smart peptide because it acts on the immune system in 2 ways. If the immune system is shut down, it stimulates the immune system to work better. And if the immune system is overworking, it calms it down.
And how do you take the peptides? Is it like a supplement, injection? What does it look like?
The BPC 157 is the oral form because once you swallow the pill, it acts locally on the digestive system. And the thymosin alpha-1 is injection.
Injection. Nice. Okay. And if we're talking now more about lifestyle and the diet, beyond gluten, what other foods commonly trigger Hashimoto flares? Like, and how can someone identify their personal triggers?
You have to know what are the inflammatory food, like dairy. Dairy products are very inflammatory. Like getting the meat from the supermarket you're eating. It's full of hormones, full of antibiotics, full of toxin. The toothpaste you're using, does it contain fluoride? Does it not contain fluoride? The fish you're eating, the sushi you're eating, usually they use big fish. Like salmon, tuna, full of toxin, full of mercury. So that's why lifestyle changing are so important. Another thing, another test so important for Hashimoto patient is the food sensitivity test. Because other than we talked about gluten, food sensitivity is you have to know what are the food that can cause you symptoms. Because food sensitivity is so tricky. If you are sensitive to a food, if you eat it now, you can have the symptoms 2 weeks later, not directly after consuming it. And if you keep on consuming a food you are sensitive to, this is like a small inflammation, a small inflammation, and a small inflammation, and you add it up until it contributes more to your leaky gut. That's why doing a food sensitivity test, and after the food sensitivity test, doing an elimination diet, like eliminating those food out of your diet for a specific amount of time, and then reintroducing them one by one, is a big game changer in the disease as well.
And what about exercise? Does it help or hurt someone with Hashimoto, and what's the right approach?
Exercise does give you a buffer, like muscles does give you a buffer. Strength gives you a buffer because it's kind of a hormesis principle, so it boosts your immunity. But you need to go to the root cause, and the root cause is stopping the entrance of toxins into your body.
And when we're talking about also stopping the entrance of toxin, it's not only what you put in your mouth, it's also what you put on your skin. The perfume, everything you read especially with women, like we love cream, we love taking care of our skin. Everything you read when you buy a cream fragrance, this is estrogens, this is synthetic estrogen, this is an endocrine disruptor chemicals.
Wow. Yeah. But yeah, actually that's so sad. When I got more conscious about these things, I just realized how much in a typical normal day of bullshit I'm actually taking into my body or skin or whatever. Somehow at the same time it can be also very demotivating because you feel like, oh my God, can I do anything actually? Because even my makeup is bad for me. Like it starts in every step of your day that everything is has something. But yeah.
And that's
But
why the source is so important, Zara. The source, like a lot of people, they come to us and say, no, I get always sick from fish or meat or dairy. But it's about the source. Like if you find a clean source, suddenly that toxic thing becomes actually very healthy for you.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
something I always tell women, don't compare yourself. Like, for example, because you will have patient telling you, but I have a friend, she uses everything synthetic and everything, but she doesn't have Hashimoto. Well, she doesn't have it yet because maybe her body, like the amount of toxin that she should get in her body until she gets the disease is different than the amount of you. So don't compare yourself. If you are feeling symptoms, this means this is what your body can take. It cannot take more than that.
Yeah, that's true. If we come more and more to an end, my big question is, what does a typical recovery timeline look like when someone, addresses the root causes? Like how long if I'm working
I
with
cannot
you?
tell you a specific timeline because again, it depends from patient to a patient.
Yeah.
Some patient will tell you I'm starting, but usually I'll give you the average. Usually within 3 months, the patient start feeling a difference because within 3 months until the hormones start acting, until you start getting a little bit toxin out of your body, the patient start feeling symptoms. But we have some patient taken up to 6 months, take it up to 1 year. Some patient within 2 weeks, they tell you, oh, I feel a little bit of difference. It depends from each patient, but on average, let's say within 3 months.
Wow, that's nice. What would you want to say to someone who's been struggling with Hashimoto symptoms for years and feels like they've tried everything? What would you
I want to tell them that it's not in your head, that it's a disease. It's not in your head. It's because of what the government is putting in your water, is putting in your food. You just have to take actions. Like for example, me, I don't have Hashimoto, but after I read a lot and with all the knowledge I have, on one day I took all my perfume, all my makeup, and the garbage. And because I thought if I'm gonna keep on delaying it and delaying it, I'm never gonna do it. So one day I was like, up and in the garbage. And for someone suffering from Hashimoto, for me, I don't have Hashimoto. So, and I took this action. If someone has Hashimoto, he has even to take more and more action about watching the food he's putting in his mouth, like reading labels, understanding labels. This is very important as well.
It's like leaving your education to the schooling system. You're not going to do that. It's like leaving your pension to the government. You're not going to do that. So why the heck are you leaving your health to external factors? You need to become the CEO of your own biology and do it step by step. You don't have to become Einstein within one day. But if you do every day one step, 1% smarter than the day before, yes, you will wake up and you will find the solution.
And it's about digging, by the way. It's about digging more and more because, as you said, I don't want to feel if I have Hashimoto that I cannot do anything in my life, right? I don't want to feel that I cannot put makeup. I don't want to feel that I cannot, I don't know, smell good. There's always a substitute. Substitute per perfume, you can always find a natural substitute that also smell good and you like it. For food, like you can always find a good farm where you source your meat from and you can still eat meat and enjoy it.
Yes, yes. And also for me, the thing I would say as someone who has Hashimoto and experienced this like being tired and all those things, I would say don't lose your hope because maybe as like now working with Noah and Silvana together, it's there are options. You just need to be open to receive. Like if we're just going the typical way, going to a doctor and just listening to him when it's about your body, your health. Like imagine you have the newest gossip about a celebrity and now you're researching and then you're talking about, you put so much effort for stupid things, but why don't you are like possessed knowing more about what's going on in your body because it affects your whole mood, your life, everything. And there is hope because there are people dealing with these things for years, helping other people, and maybe there is another therapy you need and another protocol you should work on and not go the typical way that actually, in my opinion, and I'm honest, just makes you depending on medication that you have to take for years, making other people maybe rich as well, instead of really healing or saving your thyroid, which is actually working very well. And yeah, go and try to solve the root causes as we have talked about. But when we are talking now about this, what is your company about? What is your service? Like, what happens if I'm working with you and I'm like, okay, I have Hashimoto, I want to work with you. You are truly expert. I want these peptides, I want the bioidentical hormones, I want my own protocol that are matching to my desires. What is your service like? And you're speaking English, obviously. Can I, as a German person, be part of your service, or how does it work? Do I need to visit you? Is it online? Maybe you just introduce your work.
Yeah, so what we do, what we've noticed by having patients from all around the world, from Canada, United States to Australia, to Middle East, to Europe, is that most people, most clients that we have, they don't have the time to go to the doctor, to sit there, So what we've created is a telehealth medicine with specialization in all these types of pathologies. And what we have created is a 3 pillars. Pillar number 1 is where the health of the foundation is built, which is nutrition and lifestyle. You can do all other things right. If you don't do this part right, it's kind of swimming against the flow, right? So nutrition and lifestyle is something very important. The second pillar, what we have created, which most people think they're coming for that, which is the core of the program, which is a medical program. And the medical program is indeed having a concierge doctor that guides you, a coordinator that guides you, that answer 24/7 almost all the questions that you have. And especially in the beginning, we have seen in the beginning that is needed. You're going to have questions. Everything is explained to you in a deep dive that takes 60, 90 minutes. But people, after when they hang up, they think, oh, wait a minute, what about that? What about this? So having someone that guides you in that, we've seen that it's really is important. And we've added like all the peptides and all the bioidentical hormones. And we've seen also that a lot of peptides are for research purposes only. And we don't accept that. We don't want to give our patients non-GMP, high medical grade peptides. So we kind of combined the whole thing. And then obviously you get a coach. You get a coach that guide you with recipes, with meal plans, with training, with the injury recovery, with anything that also have influenced your life. And having that peer group and having that community and having a weekly call with us, the whole group where they can ask any question that they have. We've seen, okay, it's kind of it's shift on identity level. Instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna eat healthy, you say, no, I am healthy, and that's my new identity. And when you have a peer group that helps you and guides you with that, it's so much easier. And it's very fast. Like we've seen after 3-4 months, people go into a maintenance protocol because they went a deep dive with us.
So actually, and also I have a doctor talking to, right? If like checking on my blood work. You're like, the experience I had is I was not thinking about many things. Your team was always reminding me of, okay, we need the next blood work now, and you have an appointment. This is your protocol. These are the supplements. Everything was digital on a system. So it was like, it was so easy, and it was a whole new experience. And I was asking myself, why is that actually not the normal? It's about our health. This should be more important. Like, even if I have a lawyer or whatever, like you have your personal lawyer talking to and whatever, but as a doctor, you have an appointment somewhere and just have a few minutes, but it's about your health.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I need that person on my WhatsApp. I need a 24/7 service. I have questions. I want my calls, and yeah, I want to be like treated as someone who's known. The doctor knows exactly my protocol the last months, and yeah, working on me step by step through the protocol. For sure.
Yes, yes, yeah. And what we do also, like even supplements, like we've talked about, you want to go natural, and we get a lot of that. We get, oh, I want to go natural, I want to stay natural. Well, it's very simple. Like if you're taking supplements, if you're taking vitamin D, if you're taking omega-3s, if you're taking magnesium or whatever supplements you're taking, you are already on drugs. Because there is no tree or plant or animal where you can take a magnesium pill or a vitamin D pill, right? It's synthesized in a lab, it's man-made. So it's a drug. Yes, it's bioidentical to your body. The same like the peptides and the same like the hormones, they're bioidentical to the body, but they're still drugs, right? So whenever someone comes to us and says, look, I want to live natural, okay, go live on an island, grow your own food and your animals, and make sure there is no plane flying above your island. Because in 2025, it's just impossible to live that natural lifestyle where our grandfathers had, right? So 21st century problems need 21st century solutions. And they can be natural, they can be bioidentical to your own body. So it's a part of education. Like in our program, we like to tell people what to do and then explain them the why. And we've seen that is much more efficient because people then believe in what they are doing. And
100%.
dripping it every week in educational program, driving it every week, that kind of costs them 30-40 minutes. Like how much time and energy do you spend on making money, on being financially independent, on working on your knowledge for your business? Well, trust me, if you don't have your health, that's going to be one of the biggest problems you have. So prevention for us and education is a big thing to our patients and clients.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I would say we are coming to an end. We were talking a lot and have a lot of knowledge from you guys. Thank you so, so much. You will see below the link to contact Noor or the team to have further information. And also my Instagram channel, I will talk a lot about Hashimoto and we'll put it on a highlight so you will see all information soon. And yeah, I will definitely take my followers on my journey with the team of Noor, of course, and my experience the next months, so you can see how my journey continues, what I'm doing. And my daily business days and how I deal with the medication and the protocol. So thank you so much again for your time and for giving us all the insights. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
With pleasure.